Hello, my name is Sarah Best, and this is my second discovery project. For my project, I decided to watch the 2022 film titled The Woman King. Producer Viola Davis and director Gina Prince Bythewood faced many obstacles and fights trying to get a historical epic with an all-black leading cast on the screen, as blockbuster films typically have either dainty blonde women or famous men in them. The film follows an all-female group called the Agoji who fight to protect the Dahomey Empire. The story is based on true events, and the broad strokes of this movie are mostly historically accurate, however, the characters are mostly fictional. For this presentation, I will be going over the rise and fall of the Dahomey Empire, the historical accuracy of the film, similarities to the real historical figures, and how gender and art tied into this story. In the true history of this story, the Dahomey Empire in Africa was created around the year 1600 under King Do Aklin. In 1716, the ruler at the time, King Akaba, died. He was the last remaining male in the royal bloodline who was of age, so his twin sister, Hengbi, became queen and ruled Dahomey until her son was of age. Hengbi created the Agoji to protect her family and kingdom, which was very impressive considering that Dahomey was a patriarchal society with very little respect for its female citizens. In 1818, King Gezo, who was the ruler in The Woman King, took the throne. During his reign, he faced the obstacles of needing to gain independence from the Oyo Empire and ending the slave trade that Dahomey was a huge part of. In 1827, due to the strength of the Agoji warriors, the Dahomey were able to defeat the Oyo and regain their independence. The Agoji women were referred to as Dahomey Amazons by the European slave traders for their strength, stature, and skill, which reminded them of the Greek Amazonian warriors. The Dahomey Empire reached its peak in 1840 with a fierce army, booming economy, and the end of the slave trade. However, by 1894, the Dahomey Empire fell. King Agloy Agbo led his people through the Franco-Dahomeyan War and lost, causing the kingdom to become a French protectorate. As was previously stated, many of the broad strokes of this film were historically accurate. As we see in the movie, King Gezo did rule during the most prosperous times in Dahomey. The Agoji were a real group of female warriors who fought to protect Dahomey. The Dahomey were fighting the Oyo Empire, who had been taking Dahomey people and selling them in the slave trade. The people that the Agoji women took captive from the Oyo and other neighboring nations were also sold in the slave trade. And some of the captured women from the other tribes became Agoji warriors. However, one thing that was different was, although the slave trade did come to an end and the Dahomey did stop participating in it, it was not due to the lead Agoji warrior Naniska convincing the king to end the slave trade. It was due to pressure from the British government as they were ending the slave trade and needed help from Dahomey to truly see its end. As for the Agoji warriors specifically, the main plot for this group is mostly historically accurate, but again, the characters are not. The Agoji warriors in The Woman King were not wives of the king, while the real Agoji warriors were wives of the king. Both warriors in the film and in real life raided enemy villages and sold captives in the European slave trade. Both cut off heads of their enemies and kept them as trophies. However, the Agoji warriors in The Woman King have a leader named Naniska, who became the Woman King, while in real life there was a warrior believed to be named Naniska, but she was not a Woman King or any type of leader. And in the film, Naniska's daughter, a fierce warrior, was named Naui. And in real life, there was a warrior named Naui, but she was simply the last living Agoji warrior. The clothing is fairly accurate in the film. The two main costumes that we see in the film are the shorter top that we can see on the left side here with shells on it and long shorts, or they would wear a tunic with long shorts. And very similar clothing was worn by the real Agoji. However, it is said that they looked far more masculine. In the film, the Agoji warriors used mostly spears, ropes, knives, short swords, and occasionally muskets as weapons. And as you can see, many of the same weapons are displayed in the image on the right, and it is believed that the real Agoji used a lot of the same weapons. Lastly, for their hair, the Agoji in the movie wore their hair in mostly updos to protect them during battle, which is quite similar to the real Agoji warriors, oftentimes with seashell headdresses. However, as you can see here, the real Agoji often wore bigger headpieces and had several different kinds, not just the seashell headpieces. These women are now great female role models for African women specifically and for all women because they show what we are truly capable of. Here are my references. Thank you very much.